Welcome to The Path to Inclusion, a fifth video in our subject detailing the history of special and inclusive education in the Philippines. This journey is built on the foundations of SPED and inclusive education. Every child deserves the chance to learn. This video tells the story of the long journey from exclusion to acceptance, and how the understanding of disability has evolved to build a truly inclusive future for every Filipino learner. Are you ready? Let's go. To understand where we are now, we must first look at where we have been. The early history of disability was defined by fear, superstition, and exclusion, leading to a history of misunderstanding. During the Greek and Roman era, known as the era of extermination, disability was viewed as a punishment from God. Individuals with disabilities were labeled defectives and denied basic rights. Infanticide is also a practice where a father has the right to terminate his child's life if born with disability, and also regarded disability as evil and punishment from God. The Middle Ages brought the era of ridicule. People with disabilities were often mocked, used as servants or court jesters, and treated as sources of amusement. In extreme cases, they were even ordered to be put to death. The Renaissance period, known as the era of asylum, brought a glimmer of humanity. The Catholic Church began accepting people with disabilities as wards of the state, marking the beginning of more humane treatment. However, the belief that they were, quote, uneducable limited progress. Visionaries across Europe proved that the right to education belongs to everyone. Pioneers like Pedro Ponce de Leon, Abbé Charles-Michel de l'Épée, and Louis Braille proved the unthinkable possible by advancing education for the deaf and the blind. This global historical journey provides the backdrop for our own story in the Philippines. Here, the need for special and inclusive education remains vast and urgent. This is the challenge in the Philippines. Here we go. Let's take a look. The reality by the numbers shows that over 40 million children and youth live in the Philippines, with 12% having special needs. Tragically, 97% of Filipino children with special needs do not receive appropriate educational services. Can you imagine this? Well, have a pause and take a deep breath. Numbers don't lie. Now, let's explore the significant timeline events of SPED and IE in the Philippines. The Philippine path, planting the first seeds, began between 1902 and 1957. Key moments include the first expression of interest in educating children with disabilities, the establishment of the Philippine Association for the Deaf, and the creation of the Special Education Section by the Department of Education. The years 1958 to 1997 focused on the Philippine path, building a system of support. This era saw the opening of the American Foundation for Overseas Blind Office, the start of special education courses in graduate schools, and the passing of the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. The decade of policy action, from 2000 to 2009, brought significant changes. This included the Dakar Framework for Action, the establishment of the Alternative Learning System, and the enactment of the Magna Carta for disabled persons. Inclusive education was also adopted by the Department of Education. From 2013 to 2019, the Philippine path focused on cementing a national commitment. This included the integration of inclusive principles into the K-12 law, the establishment of professional standards for teachers with inclusive practices, and new policy guidelines solidifying inclusion. The history of inclusive education is one of relentless progress. The path forward is a shared one. While frameworks are in place, the work of building a truly inclusive society continues every day, in every classroom, ensuring every learner is valued and supported. Here is the summary slide of what we have covered today. Have a pause and take a shot. I hope you learned something today in our video. Just remember, history will always teach us the lesson today in order to prepare for the future. See you on the next one.